Peace, 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 and Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Real, place where knowledge is born. This is your host, Knowledge Born Alive. We are here with Queen Mother Iyapo Moyende Ngina, our warrior, resident, resurrector, corrector, who does not spare our feelings but loves our mind and our hearts enough to tell us the truth unapologetically, indiscriminately to how we take it. So I saw her. I was like, I needed a dose. I was like, Queen Mother, can I get a dose? She was like, let me think about it. And she was like, all right, I got you. So we got her for a limited time, maybe like 20, 25 minutes at the most. So I want to maximize the time. Queen Mother, welcome to the show, first of all.
Black Power African, Black Power family. Thanks for having me on the show.
Honest. I saw two of the lives that you did in the last couple of days, and I was begging that you could share or attempt to impart some of the things that you were looking to do. We definitely know you from years of political work, but many of us don't know the other hats that you wear. So I'm glad that I caught you, even myself, in the likeness. Like I was like, damn, she is dropping the jewels today. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so, what kind of led you in that particular direction to reveal of yourself? What was kind of like the goal for your show for that particular?
Okay. Before I start, I want to say that I don't know if it's my phone or yours, but I'm getting some kind of like I can some disruption, right? You go in and out. So I don't know what that's about, but I got the gist of what you were asking. So politically, I think I would say, because you've interviewed me many times, many times over the years, so I would venture to say that the majority of your listeners probably know that I have a political history that spans about 20 years, and I would even venture to say that even though I don't talk about it very much, most of your listeners are probably aware that I have a background in the medical sciences. And more specifically, hello?
I was just saying, right? I agree. Right? Because you shared it
Oh,
with us
okay.
before, and that's the
Okay.
goal.
Okay. So, to be more specific, um, I have I have two bachelor's degrees, an associate's degree, and a master's degree. I have a bachelor's of science in alternative medicine. I have a bachelor's of professional Western sciences or health sciences, and I also have a master's degree in Oriental medicine and associate's degree in massage therapy. And the lives that you're referring to at least one of those lives that I did this week, really, I felt like, and not just simply in response to COVID-19 and the pandemonium that is surrounding that. Of course, it was kind of the reason that I did the live, but also what I have come to observe is our tendency, at least in the West, to treat herbs like we do pharmaceuticals, right? I don't know if I'm clear, but what I mean by that is when I say that we treat herbs like pharmaceuticals, is like, so for example, we hear about hawthornberry being good for the heart, right? And so we hear these studies about hawthornberry being good for the heart, and so we go and we buy hawthornberry in these little capsules, and then we take it and 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 take it, right? Or we learn about garlic being good for the heart and the cardiovascular system and increasing flexibility of the arteries. So we get some garlic and we take it and we take it and we take it and take it, right? But it wasn't until I went to graduate school that I understood the flaw in approach to herbs. And in Chinese medicine, there are very few herbs that you take individually. Most of the time you're given formulas, a combination of herbs together that address particular issues. It's very rare that that a practitioner of traditional Chinese medicine will prescribe a single herb. And also, it is even more rare that a practitioner will put you on an herb and tell you just gonna take this for forever, right? And I won't get too deep, but it has everything to do with your diagnosis and how that diagnosis or how how the condition that you are afflicted with changes as you take formulas, you see. So for example, if you present with a certain condition and the doctor gives you an herb formula to take, you'll take that herb for 2 weeks and then you'll go back to the physician and he'll monitor your symptoms. And once certain symptoms disappear as a consequence of taking this formula, he will have to change your formula. He will have to take herbs out that were addressing that particular symptom. Once that symptom is healed, right, or resolved, you don't need that herb in the formula anymore. So your herb changes as your condition changes, you see. And so the other thing is not so much here, but in China, when an acupuncturist or a DOM gives you a prescription for a condition, that prescription will not just involve herbs. It will involve Qigong or Tai Chi. Mandatory performance of Tai Chi or Qigong. It will incorporate like manual therapies, Tui Na, Gua Sha, cupping, right? Some type of manual therapy. And the combination of these things, acupuncture will be a part of that prescription. And then herbs will be a part of that prescription. And those things together help to bring the being back into harmony or back into balance, you see. And the reason I did the Facebook Live called 8 ways to boost your immune system for little to no money was because and it is the mentality of the society. And I'm not saying anything bad about herbs. I'm not even saying anything bad about individual herbs in particular. What I am saying, however, is that we miss the big picture. It's not an absence of herbs that caused our disharmony, you see. It's not an absence of medication that caused our disharmony, whatever that disharmony is, right? If it's high blood pressure, if it's a cold, if it's whatever the hell it is, you know, if it's COVID-19 and you become more susceptible because you have a weakened immune system, even though it is an external, what we call an evil, right? An external condition, right? Our susceptibility to that condition or that virus or bacteria or any number of invading forces that attempt to come in and make us ill, our susceptibility to that is still indicative of a disharmony that we have. A weakened immune system or an improperly functioning immune system is a disharmony. There is something at the root of that disharmony. You got what I'm saying? I hope I ain't being I'm not trying to be too heady, but I want to make a very specific point. Okay? So when people talk about disease or people talk about, we talk about food, we talk about herbs, we talk about lifestyle, we talk about any number of things that give us a general like, oh God, constitution. It creates our general constitution, right? Are we typically healthy or are we typically sick? Do we take 25 sick days off of work every year or do we take 2? Right? Like, we have a general constitution, and all of those things factor into our constitution. 2 things that I want to mention today that some people talk about it in kind of like sweeping ambiguities, but we rarely get real deep, real like guttural when we talk about these 2 things in particular and what role they play in our overall constitution. And in my estimation, I think those things that are absent in a central way to this discussion is what we're confronted with today. Okay? And those things are like and I talked about this in this the eight ways to boost your immune system, is more and more and more I am convinced that it is living a life that is absent ecstasy that has us fucked up. And there's no other way to put it. Like, we have moments that are happy, right? We are very responsive as human beings, okay? So we have moments that are happy, right? But to live in an ongoing or a regular state of ecstasy, the majority of us don't experience that, if we ever experience it in a lifetime. And I think that is an issue. I think, as a matter of fact, I feel like it's a kind of a missing link in the discussion around constitutional, like our constitutional makeup, our constitutional big picture of health. And then the other thing is a lot more simple. It is participating in physical activities. See, like, I'm not opposed to exercise, right? And so every time you turn around, we're talking about exercise. You need to, at least walk for 30 minutes a day, and you need to do cardiovascular exercise for so many times a week. And I don't know, like, I'm just going to keep it blood raw, okay? I hate exercise. I hate it. At least, like, the framework with which we have come to see it. I have a gym membership. I ain't stepped foot in that joint in about 6 months. And every time I go, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. But I'm like, why? Just why? I sound like a little kid. I hate it. I hate this whole organized, construct that we call exercise, right? And then, so for me, like, when I did this Facebook Live called The 8 Ways to Boost Your Immune System, I was like, yes, this is what the hell I'm talking about. And the 2 are related. So when I give you a list of 8 ways to boost your immune system, and those things include singing, dancing, fucking, showering. What was the other one? I think I have a list written down here somewhere. I guess I should have gotten it. Showering, camping, hiking. Like, I'm like, okay, this is all stuff I do. Now, this stuff I can get down with. Now, do I need to slow up some?
No.
Okay, I didn't know if I was kind of going on a rampage. I came out the gate kind of swinging.
We only got a few minutes. I need them to get everything you got. Understand everything you want to share. Okay, all right. So it hit me after I did this. Let me find this list. I wrote it down somewhere. But after I did the live on the 8 things, and it's still on my homepage if you guys want to check it out. But after I did the live on the 8 things, and I've been telling you guys, I've been reading this book online, The Great Cosmic Mother, and that's all she talks about is how 300,000 to 500,000 years of human evolution and human beings evolving with an expectation of life fulfillment through the expression of ecstasy. God damn it! Do you hear what I'm telling you?
Life fulfillment is the expression of ecstasy. The highest expression of gratitude being a life full of ecstasy. Thank you, Mother, for everything that you give us that allows us to live comfortable existences, to experience the best of what you have to offer in this incarnation of our lives, right? That even in hard times and tumultuous periods, that our blessings still outweigh what we think may be our curses, right? And our ancestors having an understanding of that, knowing and seeing every day that, you know, the work, the quote labor that we were involved in collectively to produce food for ourselves and those around us was an expression of ecstasy. It was not this laborious, sad, oh, I gotta go to work, oh, I hate my life. And that's how we have grown accustomed to living, right? This expectation that we're supposed to hate our jobs, that we're supposed to be frustrated by parenthood, that every aspect of our lives has been turned into a lament and a complete expression of a lack of gratitude because oppression makes us forget who we are in our relationship to the Great Mother, right? And so I feel like that's the missing link. When I talk about singing and, you know, the scientists who say, yep, those old ancient folks was right, singing can boost your immune system, prolong your life, increase your white blood cell count, increase all your immune markers. That's why them niggas sing all the time. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we don't believe it's real until, you know, some researcher somewhere says, okay, them old people back in the day knew what they was talking about when they said you have to walk barefooted for so many hours out the day so you can connect with the mother. Well, we call it connecting with the mother, and they say we crazy. But when they say, oh, well, you know, the magnetic force, EMG coming from the earth, we need to be grounded so that it can, you know, get rid of the oxidative stress in our systems. Then we say, oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes it. It don't make sense when your grandmama say, take your damn shoes off and walk out in the yard for a few minutes with no shoes on. But when a white boy in a white coat in a white lab with a white microscope say that you need to walk outside, you understand that all of a sudden we can hear the science, we can understand it, you see. So that's why I'm always very, I'm being funny, but I'm being serious. I'm always partnering what I understand about ancient traditions, ancient rituals, and their scientific significance. And so I, you know, point to that while still pointing to the Western, you know, anecdotal research that has been done to, quote, validate what our folks already knew any damn way. So without getting too far off, so when I talk about the importance of singing, we can go over literally 150,000 peer-reviewed journals, peer-reviewed articles, research that has been done for more than 50 years on the significance of sound vibration and its impact on everything around us. It is the sound vibration and sound frequency has been shown to cure cancer, though the people who, the two men that were able to prove that mysteriously died, but that's another story. Sound vibration changing the molecular structure of water. Sound vibration being responsible for the memory that water has. What are we if we ain't water? You know what I'm saying? So they talk about how sound, what we say, right? You know, we used to hear this little antidote, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Well, we know now that's bullshit, right? We know that you have to be mindful of what you say and how you conduct yourself with other human beings, because that hurt sometimes never goes away. Even if you apologize, the hurt caused by what you've said out of your mouth to damage another human being has impacted their cells. It ain't just that they got hurt feelings, it's the fact that they had a biochemical response to what you said that flooded every cell in their bodies. And now they have an emotional response to you, even if you don't say anything, because of this hurt that you've caused them, right? So the whole question of health and wellness um, is so compartmentalized. And even when we talk about alternative medicine, alternative therapies, traditional medicine, I still feel like there is this thing that we've missed in terms of how we bridge this all together. So singing and dancing and making love and camping and hiking, all of these things attempting to reconnect as far as I'm concerned. These different activities that I have listed that are proven to boost immunity, in essence, are ancient practices that have that were part of ritual in the expression of gratitude and the fulfillment of life through the expression of ecstasy. Was that clear? Hello? I don't know if I'm still on or not. Hello? All right, I'm gonna keep talking as if I'm still on the air. I don't know what's happened to the host of the show, but I'm not hearing any response. But for those that can still hear me, so what's the answer then? What is the essence of what it is I'm talking about and what I'm trying to gift to the listening audience today? I think that what everybody has been suggesting in response to the COVID-19 is great. I think it is necessary, and I think that whatever people can do to give themselves a fighting chance to make it to the other side of this thing is right on. In general, I think that what I would like to struggle for is for people to do a deep analysis, of their lives and ask themselves, is their life an expression, is the way that they live an expression of ecstasy? Is it evident in your life day to day that you are living a life that is in harmony with your greater body, which is the earth, right? So we think about our bodies and how our bodies are around 83% water. And we know that our bodies have, I think the estimate is like 37.5 trillion cells in our body. I think the estimate is 37.5 trillion cells in the human body. I want us to have the ability to see our whole body as an individual cell that makes up our ecosystem. And if we see ourselves within the context of being a part of Mother Earth's body, and every creature on Earth being a part of Mother Earth's body, right? The trees being her immune system, right? Like we have gut flora, little flowers in our guts that help keep shit in balance. You understand what I'm saying? To see the trees, as Mother Earth's little flora, protective flora, and it will give us the ability to understand that when we talk about our bodies and how if we are not in harmony, if our body is not in harmony, that is how disease manifests. Well, what is disharmony? It's a lot of the time it's emotional. According to some theories in Chinese medicine, the overall belief in Chinese medicine or Chinese medical theory is that there are only two causes for all chronic diseases. Two, period. That is number one, being unresolved emotional strain and trauma. Second to that is improper food and drink. First is emotional trauma. So when you talk about the establishment or the manifestation of disharmony, the first question you need to be asking is the emotional constitution or the emotional makeup or background of the person that's expressing this disharmony. Are there childhood traumas? And another system of medicine that really deals well with emotional trauma and its impact on the matrix of our entire system is homeopathy. And people, sleep on homeopathy too because they don't know how it works. They don't know, the mechanism for how it works. They just know they go to the health food store and buy a little pellet when they have a cough or sneeze or whatever. But it's so much more than that. And homeopathy is one of the most prolific medicines for dealing with the resolution of unresolved emotional trauma and strain. And so with Chinese medicine, you can develop really effective treatments for people who come in and present with a disharmony. If they come in with high blood pressure or diabetes or high cholesterol or whatever they present with, physical trauma, blunt force trauma, whatever, you can treat people based on their symptomology. However, and you can have really effective treatments. I want to say that. You can have really effective treatments, but at the source, at the root of every chronic condition is an unresolved emotional issue. Every single one. And even Western science is coming to concede. That's what the study of PTSD is, post-traumatic stress disorder. Because for many years, 30 years, the United States was completely denying that something was wrong with these soldiers coming back from combat, or that something was wrong with people who were victims of rape or child molestation. But the studies have shown that they were more likely, even without a family history of certain diseases, to die prematurely of heart disease and cardiovascular disease and cancers of several types, and not to mention just the overall depression that they suffered as a consequence of their trauma. So again, the ancients have always known what we're just coming to find out, old Johnny come latelys. But so and I will even venture to say this, that these activities that I mentioned earlier to become the necessary ingredients for the treatment of trauma. I'm talking about emotional trauma. They're not just important for the establishment of, creating like patterns of ecstasy in life. They become active ways to resolve emotional trauma and strain, and in my estimation. So I think that we can't take lightly the necessity, to me, to put the horse before the cart and not the other way around. You can take herbs, that's great. You can take pharmaceuticals, that's fine. But we have, at this juncture in human history, we have to be talking about where we have gone wrong and why, and what kind of impact it's having on our physical bodies, our emotional selves, and our spiritual selves, and then be trying to resolve that. And I think that, the question of the absence of ecstasy is central to that. That, one, we're separated from each other now more than ever, given the current state of affairs. We don't touch one another, and there's scores of studies that you can find about touch deprivation and how it's probably the reason everybody in this country is insane. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm saying, even I think it was what is this magazine? It's the American Psychological Association released a study. I don't remember what year, but the estimate was that 1 in every 3 people in the United States, 1 out of every 3 people you come into contact with, has an undiagnosed, diagnosable psychological disease or disorder. 1 in 3 people is crazy in one way or another. And that to me is an expression of a collective sickness. What is the sickness? If it's not the lack of ecstasy, the absence of ecstasy. So that's really, are you still there, Knowledge? I feel like I'm talking to myself. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, my connection was kind of breaking up over here, so I didn't want to say too much. Say too
Okay.
much. So do you have final thoughts before we close this out? I don't want to keep
Um.
gambling with this connection. I want.
Okay. Well, is there anything you want to know in particular? I felt like yeah. Hello? Okay, so I guess we have a weird connection or whatever. So I'll just close with some final thoughts. Yeah, I would encourage people
Yeah,
to.
I hear you. I'm
Okay,
right here. I'm just making sure that they can hear you.
okay, all right. Well, I'll just say some final thoughts, and we can call it a show.
All right.
So
And you.
okay, all right. So one, obviously, I'm on, I think, almost all sources of social media. So my Twitter and my Facebook, where you can contact me, is Iyapo Moyende Ngina. That's Iyapo Moyende Ngina. And then my Instagram is my business name, Moyende Creations with a K. So that's Moyende uh, Moyende Creations with a K. And that's for anybody interested in my culturally conscious jewelry and other items. And yeah, and then you can also email me if you have any questions about anything that I discussed today. It was pretty broad, but if you have any more specific questions, one, you can see the Facebook Live that I did on the homepage of my Facebook page, which is Iyapo Moyende Ngina, and it's called 8 Ways to Boost Your Immune System for Little to No Money. And it goes into much more detail about that. And then and you can also email me if you have any specific questions around what we talked about today. My email is Iyapo, IYAPO NGINA @gmail.com. That's Iyapo Ngina thought-provoking@gmail.com. And that's about it. Hello. Hello.
When is our next political discussion? What's our assignment?
I don't have any assignments, but it's up to you when you wanna rap again. I have an assignment for you. It's kind of on the spot you putting me right now, but maybe I'll have something for you guys in terms of an assignment the next time we talk.
Yeah, we need some homework.
Okay, I love giving homework.
Sick and shut in over here.
Yeah, I love giving homework, so that won't be a problem. You just give me a heads up next time in more than a day. All right. Oh, we good? Hello.